as the vice president. And other Trump administration officials are working to reach a long-term truce in Pakistan. The president says the U.S. is taking new action related to the Strait of Hormuz. The president posted on Truth Social this morning, quote, "We're now starting the process of clearing out the Strait of Hormuz as a favor to countries all over the world, including China, Japan, South Korea, France, Germany, and many others." He then criticized the nation, saying they, quote, "don't have the courage or will to do this work themselves." CBS News reporter Torian Small joins us now from the White House. Torian, why is the Trump administration doing this now?
Yeah, so the president is saying that there's U.S. Navy ships out there looking to clear it out. The biggest concern was mine-laying ships that have already been sunk there. So now, according to the president's words, the operation there is just to ensure that there can be safe and open passageway through the strait. I think what should be notable here is at the start of this ceasefire that came right before the deadline that President Trump set for Iran to reopen the strait, the president said that Tehran agreed to the complete and full reopening and immediate reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. What has happened since then has been a toll of sorts set up by the Iranian military, and fewer than about 12 ships a day have passed through when there's typically over 100. So that's something that hasn't sat well with President Trump. He's talked about that quite a bit this week. And as these negotiations go on, his continuous focus will be on the strait, as that has impacted global energy prices. Here at home, we've seen a significant increase in gas prices. That's also had an impact on inflation, and that's something that the president is looking to turn the page on as those negotiations continue, Lindsay.
Do we know what the clearing of the strait will actually look like?
Not at this moment. I mean, this is still very fluid as the president is talking through this. I think the focus that we're looking at now is whether or not we will see an immediate opening of the strait that comes out of these negotiations. Again, this is what the president has promised as part of the ceasefire agreement. So that'll be a part of the bullet points that the vice president is looking to communicate to the Iranian parliament as he continues these conversations.
How might this impact today's talks?
Yeah, this could have a huge impact on it. This is already a pretty fragile truce that the president or the vice president talked about when he went into this. He and his allies have said that he believes Iran shouldn't take these negotiations lightly. The president is also threatening potential military action if these talks fall through. He talked to reporters at the New York Times this week, saying that there are U.S. ships that have quite a bit of weapons that they could use if talks fail very effectively. Those are his words. So the president is keeping a close eye on where these conversations go. This is quite the make or break moment for the vice president, who's taken the role as the lead negotiator in these conversations. I think it's also curious, and we should point out the fact that the vice president has been tasked to take this on. The man who coveted the art of the deal is depending on his vice president to close this one. This is also notable because he's surrounded by U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. It's undoubtedly on the vice president's mind, as he could be considered the heir apparent that 2028 could hold, or his chances in 2028, if he chooses to run for president, could hold quite closely to what comes out of this conversation or this negotiation that he has today, Lindsay.
Torian Small, thank you.